Welcome to Sweeping the Country one more time. I'm your host, Derik Walker. Alongside me, my co-host, Mr. Jimmy Carter. Hey, Jimmy.
We're going to talk about billionaires today.
Well, that's nothing. I know nothing about it.
Do I know any billionaires? I don't think so.
How about millionaires? You know some millionaires, right?
I know some millionaires.
Billionaires?
Billionaires, I guess Taylor Swift's about ready to become one at some point.
Really? Yeah.
I think she's, in fact, when this tour that she's currently on, that's been the rage, finishes next year, somewhere over, I think London is the final show.
She'll be a billionaire?
She will have...
She'll be a billionaire?
No, this tour will have grossed $1 billion.
Well,
she already was worth $300 or $400 million.
That's incredible.
And I think, if it grosses $1 billion, I hope she'll be close to a billionaire with all the sales she's done and everything else.
That's crazy. That means both of us have met a billionaire. That's the only one I can think of.
I guess.
Yeah.
That's me too.
Yeah.
But the billionaires that we've seen lately, and I think everybody's had about all they can take of this submarine that blew up underwater at the Titanic.
Oh, yeah.
It has just been, it's just one of those stories that the networks got on, and I guess they figured out that people were curious because it was a missing persons thing there for a little while. And then it turned out that this was no one should have ever gone down in that submarine based on the construction of it and everything else, and much less let a kid go down there.
Yeah, boy, that's rough.
It's just and that kid was really smart.
Yeah.
And now we don't get the benefit of having that young man who could have found the cure to cancer.
Who knows? We don't know.
He could solve the Rubik's Cube and like that.
Yeah.
He was quite unbelievable. But I'm just kind of fed up with these people that here's a billionaire that they can kill themselves if they want to, but society having to go and clean up after them.
Oof, boy.
In the particular case of God knows what it costs to go rescue them. Lord, can you imagine what the bill is? No one's going to pay it. But how much money and what all this happened?
Gosh, I mean,
go down in
no, it was a fortune. It was a small fortune, and somebody from the company that launched the sub, which they'll probably go broke now, I would guess. Somebody from that company's got to foot the bill. I mean, they charge somebody for starting a fire with a lawnmower that burns 1 million acres.
Yeah, they'll never do it. I mean, because no one could ever afford all those ships coming out there to
that's right. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Rescue them.
Crazy.
No one could ever do it. Like there's a billionaire that got killed in the last week in Aspen.
Doing what?
On a race course. There's a private race course in Aspen.
Yeah.
And he didn't take a turn and killed himself.
Okay.
There's this billionaire that did that. It's just risking I know that they're bored and because they've got more money than they know what to do with.
It's got to be that.
But they've got to do things that are, I guess, risky behavior in order to
satisfy something
to do.
Yeah.
Just to find something to do.
It's crazy.
And they can't, it's whether they're off to Funky Island with that guy, that had the sex island.
Oh, Epstein.
That suicide in quotes in prison, that all those people were just because they were bored and they went out. It's just sick. I mean, if you're God lucky enough to get something like that, become a billionaire, do something with it, man. Do something that helps people.
Yeah.
And what gets me is that people want to give, and some of these rich people are some of the worst about that. We've got people that are literally they're pitiful, that are in East Tennessee. And thank God for Dolly Parton, who's fought illiteracy with books.
Oh, yeah. The
that's
library.
The kind of stuff you spend your money on. Man, build libraries like Carnegie did.
Yeah, right.
Build libraries around the country, build something, actually put in the internet instead of just talking about it.
Yeah, it is interesting because you'll see, like, I don't know, I guess in our lives we've all met people with a lot of money, and not all of them are jerks, and not all of them aren't giving like Dolly Parton and even the Paisleys with the grocery store.
Absolutely. They've given back all kinds of. No one's wanting them to give up all their money. I like if people are rich. They work hard. They're talented. They deserve to have. Planes and whatever else they want.
Right.
It's just try to do something for society in the meantime.
Even if it's tiny, because it's not tiny to the rest of the people.
Because there's so many needs of people, from healthcare to technology to children to, good Lord, to security of children, nothing else. Give a grant, that pays for somebody to protect these schools, so you won't have anything else happen to these poor children that are going to school, that are worried about going to school. there's just a lot of good things that people can do instead of racing cars around Aspen and killing yourself. And God, it's just insane.
It is a different.
It really is. It makes me nuts.
Yeah.
And then here's this story made me crazy. Big Bend is in one of the national parks. It's about as barren as they come. It's out there in far western Texas.
Okay.
It's where a lot of the Mexicans cross. They can't really cross the border there because it's too rugged.
Yeah.
You cross in the Rio Grande, you got to go straight up or something. They don't even try to go across the border there. Well, they've had heat indexes of 119, 120 there in the last week. And a father and his two stepsons were hiking in 119-degree heat.
Oof.
Really?
Right.
I mean, who does? What is wrong with people that do that?
Well, you don't get a license when you have kids. I mean, I'm not saying you should, but half the people that have them don't know what to do with them, and that certainly is not something you should be doing with them.
Stepsons 14 and 21 were hiking in 119-degree heat. When one of the boys fell sick and lost consciousness and died,
sure, yeah.
And then somebody else died. Then the dad died when he crashed his car, went over an embankment because of whatever the reason. I mean, what is wrong with people?
I don't know.
I mean, they want to go walking in 119 degrees.
Yeah,
these things. I've done news all my life, and I don't understand it about stuff like that. I don't understand. Yeah, they've just said the other day or today that a former quarterback used to be. He was there in New England when the GOAT was there. I don't remember, his first name was Ryan, but he drowned in the last week down in the Gulf of Mexico.
Wow.
There have been 9 people in Bay County and Walton County, which is northern part of the Gulf, Panama City, Destin. A lot of people go to these places, white sugar sand beaches.
Beautiful,
but the one thing they do have is an undertow, a rip current. And it's killed, if 9 people have drowned
that's a lot.
in just the last week, 9 dead.
Yeah.
And who knows how many, made it out.
Right,
but 9 people died just in the last week.
Man.
And when they ignored this thing called the red flags, they have in most beaches, even if they have a flag system, it's if it says red, you don't go out there. And if it's double
I've
red,
seen that. Yeah.
You cannot even you can't even put your foot in the water. They'll give you a ticket for $500.
Wow.
And so these people have all, they're risking other people's lives by getting out there where someone has to come and rescue you.
Yeah, I've been puzzled by that for a long time, and I wonder why they're not stuck with the bill when that happens. I don't understand why the stupidity doesn't. Why it's. I don't want to not help people.
Well, a lot of them, it's not about the money. They don't have a pot to piss in the first place.
Okay, fair.
Fair. They're not smart.
Yeah.
It's not, but it's not smart what these billionaires do too when they're racing cars. When they're not really trained to go do that, they're just doing it because it's fun.
The thrill,
and they're looking for a thrill. I don't know.
Yeah, wild.
I guess that's why we live in this country.
Yeah,
and we're glad we're not living in something where there's a Russian rebellion.
True.
There's a lot of bad reporting and weird talking heads on that subject.
Yeah,
it's going to be 6 months before we really know what happened then and what the consequences of that are, and how long we were building up to get to that point.
How do we rein in the media, the journalists? How do we rein that in? Because that story, when it came out, it looked like Russia collapsed. The story came out and it's getting overthrown, and there's a insurrection happening in Russia, and then come to find out, really, nothing. There's nothing.
Right, and plus, there's no way of them knowing because they don't have anybody on the ground there.
Right, sure.
There's nobody reporting, so they're getting stuff off of social media.
Yeah,
and they're hit and miss on a lot of that.
How do we fix
foreign
that?
Policy analysts, these people that, I don't know, most of them are out of work.
How do we fix it, Jimmy?
Currently doing it.
How do you get that back to where we're getting?
One way you fix it is by not watching it.
Okay, fair.
Because it can't sustain itself.
Yeah.
But they're doing it all over. I watched that coverage. I didn't watch any of the American coverage. I watched the BBC.
That's great, isn't it? They do a good job.
Because I felt like they were, and they've got their own agenda too and everything. But
Sure.
It just felt like theirs was a little more less crazy.
I agree. I've been watching their world news, and I think it's pretty darn good. I do. I think it's not
meat and potatoes. It's pretty straightforward.
Yes.
And but you hear their bias too. It's just a little
Yeah, you
more
can hear it. Yeah.
little more subtle. But no one wants to. Russia's a really hard place to try to figure out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're all not bad. I'm sure that all those people over there are all not bad people. They're listening to propaganda. It's a crazy situation. And but this guy that was the character that was looked like Khrushchev, the bald-headed dude,
Yeah, sure.
looked like some kind of guy in a Bond movie. He looked like a Bond villain.
Yeah.
That was riding around. They were all praising and thrilled. And now who knows where he is? I'm sure he doesn't eat anything without it getting tasted first. And
definitely.
But I think they were promising him a cruise missile in his shorts or something if he didn't turn around. So he turned around like 180 degrees.
Mr.
Someone must have said the magic words. To get him to, whoops, never mind. We're
tail between your legs and get out of here.
Yeah,
by the way, when I watched some of that, I could not believe they were showing like downtown area. I don't know, near the Kremlin, I guess, and it looked so beautiful. Did you see it? There was no trash. They had it looked like Disneyland. I mean, it looked. I was shocked.
They do, and they have poor people that are out there picking it up. But the Moscow, they say, that's one of the places. I mean, I guess I should want to have gone.
Yeah,
but,
I would love it.
I just I never trusted it over there. I kept saying,
I get it.
The day I go over there is the day that I look at somebody wrong, or or I spilt coffee on somebody and it's over with, and I'm in the gulag.
Yeah,
I don't trust that place. It's
you'd
scary.
be in trouble.
And
you would
for
be
good reason, apparently. This like that Wall Street Journal person.
Yeah.
Or even that NBA player, WNBA player that was in there.
Yeah.
It's a really strange place, and they can, you've got people like the Russians, like a Putin, and not all the people, but I'm just saying the people that are running the country. You've got the Putins, you've got the Communist Party in China, you've got the mullahs or whoever they are in Iran, and you've got those kind of people they want us gone.
Yeah,
they want us dead. They want to take us over. They want us annihilated, and they're not kidding.
Right.
I mean, and that's why we have to have a strong military and that type of thing. It's people don't understand that we're playing kind of a for real chess game with people.
Yeah.
And it's not that we want to spend our money that way. We probably have other ways of doing it. But, I don't understand the Ukraine war completely, but I do buy the argument that there's a lot more to it than just putting money in, and I think we've learned about how weak that Russia is on a routine level, maybe not strategically with their bomber forces or their missiles or some of that, the nuclear power, they may not be as powerful as we think they are.
Yeah, maybe not. I mean, they can't do anything with Ukraine. I mean, they really can't. This should have been over a year ago.
And then we're going in there with our stuff, teaching them how to use it, and we're knocking their missiles out of the air and doing all that, which probably makes us happy because we're getting to test in real time our weaponry.
Right. And
that's what we're doing a lot of. But, people, they're just not some of these generals, that are hack generals that are gone now, that are on CNN and some of this stuff, Spider, whatever his name is, some of these others, I just have to turn it off.
Yeah, I do
There's
too.
been a couple on there that are really good, but there's a couple of them on there that are just Vin Veneman, and there's just several of them that, please. It's,
yeah. Different time.
No.
Yeah.
Different time. But anyway, Russia certainly is taking up a lot of time lately, and I think we don't understand China. There's just a lot we don't understand, and, they don't teach geography hardly in school anymore.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Teach history. That's
true too. That is true.
Or at least they don't teach enough of it.
I agree. I wish I would have paid more attention.
So we're running now into the holiday. We're a third of the way through summer. Not, because what is summer? Summer's June, July.
Summer is 4th of July, Jimmy. That is when the hot dogs come out and the apple pie.
But this year we're kind of getting hosed because it's on a Tuesday. There's no holiday on either side.
I'm working on the 4th of July. I'm actually working.
You are on that Tuesday?
Yes, on that Tuesday. I know a lot of companies are taking Monday and Tuesday, but it'll be a long weekend for a lot of people, but not me.
Yeah, and I don't know I haven't heard from my radio people what we're doing. So I don't know. I'm not going anywhere because I'm saving it for the end of the month.
Yeah.
We're going to try to do something.
Nice. Very nice.
But the movies, the Indiana Joneses this weekend.
Ooh, I'm excited.
I'm curious, but they're saying they're having trouble trying to get an audience. They say it's 50-year-old men that are interested in the film, and not much more.
I want to go. My wife wants to see it, so she's.
Well, that's good, but they're just saying mostly it's being run by 50-year-old men.
She has some hair on her face, but she's a lady, 100%.
Oh my!
Well, I'm just saying, 50-year-old men. Maybe that has something to do with it. But Indiana Jones is a franchise. I've watched every single one of those.
It looks fakey in the commercials.
Oh no! Did they CGI?
It looks, because he can't be flying around in some kind of contraption. It looks like it gets into the world of almost like comic strip violence. I don't know.
I hope they didn't ruin it. I
don't know. When he was racing a horse up the street, I thought that looked. I
pretty
saw
real.
that when it was being made. It just
no.
I don't know. I'm having a hard time getting excited about it.
Okay, well,
we'll see. I may go.
Okay, if I can get it.
But I have been watching a lot of cool stuff, by the way.
Okay, go. What do you got?
I've been watching. There's a 5-part series on Netflix called Treason.
Ooh, I got to see it. I got to see that.
Good. In fact, I haven't done this in a long time. Sat there and I just let all 5 of them run, and I couldn't get away. I watched them 5.
Are they an hour long each?
52 minutes probably.
Yeah, that's a lot of.
And it
time.
was Saturday night, and I started early, and I ended up about 11 o'clock. So that was they're addictive like that.
Yeah.
And then another show was The Recruit.
Great.
And that's 10 hours, 10 episodes.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a season 2 of that.
Well, you got me on
that was good.
On Diplomat. That was great. I couldn't put that down. That was fantastic.
That was good, and that's going to be a season 2 of that.
Yeah, that was great.
I've been watching a couple of documentaries on Amazon Prime.
Did you watch
one of them's called the Secret Life of. It's the Secret Life of a Cruise Ship.
Oh, I saw that.
That was kind of interesting. Where it takes you, and shows you how they stock the boat. And,
if you don't know,
they show you. I mean, how they have the lights off at night, and they're all up there, in the dark, with no light in the whatever they call that
where
place,
they steer the ship, the
is.
bridge.
They're steering the ship. But no, that was really interesting.
Yeah, that was.
And
good.
then another one was called "Secret Lives of the World's Busiest Airport." A story of the Atlanta airport. Takes you above it and below it, and and then the towers and all that stuff. That was interesting.
I'd like to see that. That sounds pretty good.
It's called, but it's The Secret Life. And there's a whole bunch of episodes of different things. One that I heard was good was one about the Airbus 380, which is the biggest passenger plane I think currently out there.
Okay,
and it follows 2 people from London to Australia. It's a 24-hour trip. And they stop in Dubai and get gas.
Interesting.
And refuel. But that sounds, so there's some fun things, documentaries, there's different stuff. There's some good stuff out there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. What was the other one? Oh, The Night Agent. That's pretty good, too. If you haven't seen that, it's called The Night Agent. And
that's on the list of things.
It's
Night
good.
Agent to see.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. White House, political, espionage type.
This is what these Treason and The Recruit are about.
Yeah,
They're all CIA in one case, MI6 in England, the other case. So it's good.
Love it.
And we've got Mission Impossible 7. Sounds like it's going to be the big movie of the summer with Cruise.
Those have been good.
That's one you want to see at the theater, though.
Yeah,
you got to see that one. At the big house. And then the Barbie movie.
What's the take on that? Because it looks kind of cute. I mean, I don't know that I'd want to see it, but it looks like it could be cute.
Yeah, I don't know if it's got one of those tongue-in-cheek things where it's all about sexual innuendo and that kind of stuff all through it. I don't know. I love her.
Yeah,
the girl who plays Barbie is my favorite actress.
Who's Ken? Who plays Ken in that movie?
One of I don't know, but they got his hair dyed, and it's who cares about Ken? It's all about Barbie.
They got to stay pretty true to the Barbie.
It's always been about Barbie.
Don't they have to stay pretty true to that? Otherwise, Mattel would never.
Oh yeah, Mattel's all in it. Yeah, they do.
They wouldn't let that go.
And then there's a movie by this guy. I think I've hated every movie he's ever done. He did one called Inception. And I remember I went with my daughter, and it was with Leo DiCaprio, and the buildings were on their side, going turning upside down. I couldn't understand
Inception was
anything
good.
about that.
It's Jimmy.
Whoever that guy is that makes those movies, he's done one called Oppenheimer, and I understand it made people either squeamish or something. So I don't know.
I'm not watching that. By the way, Ken is Ryan Gosling. How can you say don't?
Yeah.
You can't think of Ken. The women are going to go see that because of Ryan Gosling.
Yeah,
aren't they? I think.
And they're going to see because they had Barbie.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't know Will Ferrell was in it. Will Ferrell's in it.
Well, there's a bunch of cameos.
Michael Cera, yeah. And Margot Robbie's the girl you're thinking of.
Yeah. And so there's a lot going on in that. She gets arrested or something.
Barbie?
So it's, Barbie, something I don't know.
Huh.
What are you going to do?
Now I want to see it. Now you made me
But The Flash is bombed. The Flash bombed. And that's a big deal in the world of comic book stuff.
I liked the first one, but I don't know what's wrong.
It went kapoo.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And the Spider-Verse thing that was animated, that's done well, but no interest with me on that.
Who cares? I don't even care. That's got to be like 7 to 12-year-olds, don't you think?
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be.
Really, I guess.
I don't want to say who cares. They care, but
they care.
Yeah, I have no interest in that whatsoever. I'll go see Indiana Jones, Jimmy. I'm going to do it anyway.
The Billionaires coming back. I think what's called Billions. No, the movie. It's the series Billions on Showtime.
Huh.
The last. Do you ever watch any of that?
No, I never got.
Pretty good.
Never had
Damien,
Showtime.
Whatever his name is, it was in Homeland. Was the star, and it was okay. I never got into Succession. I tried.
Yeah, I heard it was good.
Same song, 10th verse. After I watched about 10 episodes, I watched a lot of episodes.
You ever watched?
And they did a lot of outrageous stuff, there. But I just, at the end of the night, I hated everybody on the show.
Yeah, I couldn't get into it.
I just don't think you can hate everybody on the show.
No, you got to have somebody you like.
Because they're despicable people. They're despicable.
Did you ever watch Suits? The series Suits?
Yeah, that was kind of
not good.
No.
Okay. It's got a bunch of about 10 years worth, 10 seasons or something.
Somebody liked it, but it just
Well, that's going to do it for us this week on Sweeping the Country. I'm Derik Walker. He is.
I'm Jimmy Carter.
Until next week when we do it all again. Good day.